So, the point of this stream is I'll be showing off my Elden Ring builds. If I click load game, you can see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 saves, but one of them isn't really a build. I guess I could show that one first. It was more like a challenge run. I streamed it, but that was about a year ago when I streamed it. I did a faith only challenge run. And when I say faith only, I really mean faith only. I'm level 90, and I dumped all of my levels into faith. So I have 99 faith and nothing else. These are the starting stats of whatever class I chose. I think I'm like a priest or something, or whatever it is. Prophet. So, I remember this run being so fucking difficult. But I did it. As you can see, I beat the game. So, but there isn't really much to show off here. So, let's get the fuck out of here. Alright. Let's get to my actual builds now. Alright, holy fuck it is. So this is holy fuck. So with this build I use the Euphoria. It's a faith build with a little bit into dexterity because that's what the Euphoria like slightly scales in. But it scales mainly in faith. And a lot of the damage output you'll be getting is from leveling faith. So this build is what, level 200? Yeah, this is a level 200 build, and I use the Euphoria. Obviously, have it maxed out for maximum damage, and then I just use a finger seal in my left hand because I don't really cast any like damage dealing incantations. The only incantation I cast is Golden Vow. But now that I think about it, I should probably be casting like a healing incantation as well. Blessing of the Erd Tree, I think, is better. So yeah, basically I don't really use like any damage dealing incantations, so there's no reason to use like an actual seal. So I just use the most basic one, the finger seal. And I don't have it upgraded either. You don't really have to have it upgraded for, actual buffs, because the buffs will always do the same thing no matter how leveled up your seal is. So I just have a regular finger seal, and the only incantations I cast is Golden Vow and now Blessing of the Erd Tree. So I can actually get some heals. I'll show you the equipment. So this is the armor set that I use. I use Haslow's helm with the twinned armor chest piece. And then I use Haslow's greaves and the malformed dragon gauntlets to create this look. This gives me, 53 poise, so I'm able to tank some damage and still continue my attack. It's above that poise limit to be able to do that. These are the talismans I use. The two-handed sword talisman, because we're using the twin blade. We'll be two-handing it basically all the time. We have no other weapons but this twin blade. So the two-handed sword talisman is a must. We have the Rotten Wing sword insignia. If you wanted to double up and use the Millicent's prosthesis, that's fine as well. But I find myself favoring this one and then other talismans as well, for some more variety. But this greatly raises the attack power with successive attacks. So basically, the more attacks you land, the more damage you'll deal. This enhances charged attacks. With this weapon type, the twin blades, you'll basically be doing a lot of charged attacks because this charged R2 is very good. Charged attacks are these. You hit like 3 or 4 times per attack, and it does a ton of damage. And it also complements this weapon's ability, which I'll show later. And then, of course, the Shard of Alexander greatly boosts the attack power of skills, which is basically your weapon art, your weapon's ability, which I'll show off in a little bit. But yeah, basically this whole build is based around this one weapon, making it as effective as possible. Okay, so let's go fight something. Let's go here. With that being said, it is a very simple build in terms of its gameplay. You don't really, it's not like a big variety of, different attacks and different ways you can approach a situation. But because you make this weapon so effective, you only need one way to approach the situation, and that's this weapon. You know what I'm saying? The point of this weapon is the more consecutive attacks you land, the more charged up it will become. And then when it reaches its max charge, you can use its ability to basically delete anything in your way. Oh, shit. Why are the fucking goats attacking me? Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Onion bread? No thanks. But you see how my weapon's glowing? Once it reaches its max power, it will glow very bright. Oh, got in his way too. So I think it's fully charged now, so I can show it off. But yeah, that's basically the weapon. That's basically the gameplay that you'll be experiencing with this type of build. Yeah, it's definitely the best, like, holy damage dealing weapon. Because even against holy resistant enemies, this weapon still deletes them. Like, the attack power of this thing is crazy good. And it doesn't really consume that much FP, as you can see with my blue bar up there. It doesn't really consume that much FP when you use the special beam cannon. And a lot of enemies in this game are resistant to holy, but you'll find that even then, this weapon will still deal tons of damage. And as you can see, I'm using the heavy attack, the charged R2, and it's boosted by my weapon talisman. So that makes all of my charged attacks super effective, super good. But yeah, that's the whole point of the holy fuck build. You deal tons of holy damage that'll make you say, holy fuck. You know what I'm saying? So here's the stats. I have 60 in vigor. I have 28 in mind. You don't really need that much mind with this type of build because, surprisingly, the weapon's like ability doesn't consume that much stamina, or I mean that much FP. So it's actually really nice. You don't need that much mind. The spells that you'll be casting, like the little buffs, actually cost more FP than the actual weapon's ability. But yeah, I have 60 vigor. All of my builds, you'll notice a common theme throughout all of my builds. I'll have 60 vigor on all of them, because that's the cap, that's the soft cap for vigor. And then after that, I have 28 mind. Like I said, you don't really need that much mind with this build because your weapon's ability doesn't consume that much FP. And, you know, the spells that you'll be casting, you won't be dealing damage with your incantations. You'll just be casting buffs, so you don't need that much FP for that either. Endurance, I have it at 32, just so I can wear all of the armor and be able to medium roll. Strength I have at 16 because that's the requirement for the Euphoria, and then I have Dexterity at 40 because the Euphoria does scale decently in Dexterity, but a lot of the damage you'll be getting out of it will be through Faith, so that's why I have Faith at 80. Here's the equipment one more time, and then for the Flask of Wondrous Physic, I use the Holy Shrouding Crack tier to boost my holy attacks, and then the Thorny Crack tier to boost my successive attack power. Because you're going to be doing a lot of successive attacks with the Twin Blade moveset, and a lot of holy damage with the Euphoria. For almost all of my builds, I'm pretty sure all of my builds, honestly, I just go with the best looking sort of thing that also fits, like, the play style and the weapon I use. And because who cares about, you know, stats and, like, you know, damage negation when you look cool? You know what I'm saying? I would rather look cool. Now is the true test of the Euphoria. Allow us to cast these buffs. The buffs I use are Golden Vow and Blessing of the Erdtree. And then I'll drink my flasks. Get my blue bar back. Double fist this shit. And let's go.
Double fist.
Here we go, bitch. Whew! Chop! Oh! Chop! Oh, that's bad. Yeah, the roll attack on this weapon is really nice. Ooh, he dodged. Alright, let's cast this. Oh, that's terrible timing! Fuck you. I remember this boss has, like, the best timing on that attack. The AI is just so effective. Yeah, but I didn't have it. Oh! Yeah! Ah!
What was that, a critical? What was that?
I just stunned him.
Yeah, but why do you take so much damage right there?
Because, oh, this talisman right here enhances my charged attacks.
Oh.
And I spam charged attacks with this build because it charges up my Euphoria ability. The quickest, at least. But yeah, even then, like, I barely even hit him with the Euphoria's ability. And even just, like, the regular attacks with the Euphoria is so effective. So you can really see just how effective this build can be, even to an enemy that's wholly resistant. And this was the Holy Fuck build. Very fun. I love the moveset of the Twin Blades, and the Euphoria's ability is so fucking cool and so fucking awesome. And it does a shit ton of damage. And I love the look of this build too. I really like how aesthetic I made it. Next is Freight Frank.
Oh, is that when we originally called him,
Coltrane, but I couldn't make the character look like Coltrane, so we made his brother Freight Frank. This is what they look like, if you were wondering. This is the only ugly character that I made.
Jesus.
Holy Fuck is just like kind of like a basic white guy. But this guy is beautiful. Or girl, rather.
I don't even know if that's a... Wait.
Oh, it's a guy. Damn it. Yeah, it's a dude. So, this build, let's see. This build is I think it's a strength faith build. So I have 60 strength and 80 faith. And it's a lightning build. And here's the equipment I use. I use the Death Knight's long haft great axe, or long haft axe. It's a great axe weapon type. So, it is sort of slow, but I feel like this weapon type is really unique. It has a bunch of like really straightforward attacks. It attacks basically in a straight line, so it's really good against single target enemies, but its heavy attack is a sweep. So it does give it some variety for dealing with a ton of like groups of enemies if you need to. The seal I use is the Gravelstone seal to enhance my lightning attacks. This is the armor set I use. I use the Death Knight helm, the Black Knight armor, the Death Knight's gauntlets, and the Black Knight greaves. This gives me 57 poise, and I'm able to medium roll, so fat rolling is not an issue. Strength is 60 as well, because the axe is B in strength. So if it was like an S tier in strength, I would probably have strength at 80, so I can get the most damage out of it. But since it's only a B, you won't be getting that much damage from strength after 60. And a lot of the damage that you'll be doing will be from your faith scaling with your spells and stuff, and the axe's ability. So I have 80 in faith because of that, and 60 in strength. And then I have 12 dexterity for the requirements. Lightning build. Here's the axe's ability. You get to teleport, and if you follow it up with an attack, then it does a little lightning strike. It's really cool. These are the spells that I use, though. The Lightning Spear, the Knight's Lightning Spear, which is a better version of it, but it costs more FP. The Ancient Dragon's Lightning Spear, the Lance Axe's Glaive, the Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike, and then, of course, Golden Vow for a buff. For the talismans that I use the Alexander Jar Shard, or the Warrior Jar Shard in this case. You know, don't worry about that, though. I have the Godfrey Icon, the Lightning Scorpion Charm, and then the Two-Headed Turtle Talisman. You can replace this one if you want more like damage protection. Then you could use one of the Drake Talismans. You can use the Two-Handed Sword Talisman as well, because you end up two-handing your axe a lot. But because I switch in between my spells and my axe so often, I don't think it's as effective. But this is the talisman setup that I chose to go with. It's always really nice to have more stamina regeneration. You can use it no matter what. It's so nice. So the Two-Headed Turtle Talisman is really effective. And then I also have the Flask of Wondrous Physic that increases my lightning damage, and of course the Opaline Bubble Tear. The Opaline Bubble Tear is better in PvE. If you're more of a PvP player, I would probably suggest something else. But PvE, it's really effective. You can just tank whatever one attack may be. and it basically gives you a freebie, which is really nice. Alright. Bitch. Oh shit. What the fuck? What the why is he so far away? Okay, usually he does his little charge attack first, so I don't know why he's fucking delaying it so much. Yeah! Woohoo! Now you'll see the strength of this build. You see? 10,000 damage right there. You see? Oh, excuse you. I got 3 hearts. Interesting. But yeah, that's my lightning build. What's its name? Freight Frank? Yeah, that's Freight Frank. Oh yeah, this is my dragon build. So in this game, with the DLC, you're able to turn yourself into a dragon with an item, and that makes your dragon attacks more effective. So I basically just thought of this build because, well, if I grab that item and then I only use dragon attacks, I'll basically do a shit ton of damage, right? And I was right. This build does so much fucking damage. It's level 250. You do not need to be level 250 with this type of build. But my build was already level 250 because it was something else before, which required it to be that high of a level. But you do not need to be level 250 for this build in particular. But I have 60 vigor and I have 52 mind. You could definitely take some points out of mind. You don't need that much. But your only way of damage with this build is through FP, the blue bar you can see. You have no melee attack. You have no attack that doesn't consume FP. So every attack that you're going to be doing requires FP. So having a lot of mind is important. I have 40 endurance. There's no real reason to have endurance because you're not wearing any armor with this build. And the reason you're not wearing armor with this build is because you're a dragon. You turn yourself into a dragon by not wearing any armor. So, you don't really need endurance, but it's really nice to have the stamina. Especially if you're going to be running around, rolling around a lot because you're light loaded. So, it's really nice to have some endurance. But you don't need 40. Strength, nothing. Dexterity, nothing. Intelligence, nothing. These are just the starting stats of whatever class I chose with this save. But I do have faith at 40 because a lot of the incantations I use require a little bit of faith. They don't require 40 faith, but they require a little bit of faith, so they do scale a little bit into faith. So having 40 faith just is nice to get a little bit out of that damage scaling. And then I have 99 arcane. You do not need 99 arcane. That's the max amount you can have in any stat. But I think arcane is one of those unique stats where there's not really any diminishing returns by going to 99. With a stat like strength or intelligence, going above 80 is not recommended because the amount you'll get out of those levels after 80 isn't a whole lot. Like, that level is better going into something else, you know what I'm saying? But with arcane, it's a little weird because you can go up to 99 and each of those levels will still give you a bang for your buck. It's weird. I don't know. Here's the equipment I use. This is the Dragon Communion Seal, and I have 2 of them. I have one in my right hand. This is my upgraded one because that's the one you'll be casting all of your spells with. And then I have one in my left hand. What the Dragon Communion Seal does is it boosts Dragon Communion incantations, which are the only incantations I'll be using to deal damage. So, if you have one of them, it already boosts it, but if you have 2 of them, the boost stacks. And then, like I said, you can't wear any armor if you want to turn yourself into a dragon, so I have no armor. So because of that, I use this blue Dancer Charm, which raises your attack power the lower your equipment load. The Flock Canvas Talisman to raise the potency of incantations, because that's what we do. We cast incantations. So we have the Roar Medallion, which enhances your roar and breath attacks. So dragon type attacks are super effective with this talisman because you breathe fire, ice, you roar. You know what I'm saying? So it's really good. And then we have the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, which enormously boosts physical damage negation. And then in the flask, I have the Opaline Hard tier for more damage negation. And then I have the Blood-Sucking Cracked tier. And this one's really unique because it increases your attack by like a lot, but it slowly drains your HP. So you do have to keep in mind that you're slowly losing HP when you're fighting someone. So you just have to keep in mind your health bar. It's a little bit of a trade-off, but I personally think it's worth it for the damage that you deal. And then here are the attacks that I use. If you ask my opinion, there's way more dragon attacks than the ones that I use, but the ones that I am using with this build are the most effective and the best damage dealing and most efficient dragon attacks in this game. Here's the first attack. It's called Dragon Claw. And you can cast it just by itself, or you can click it again to combo it. This is Dragon Maw, which is a bite attack. This is Grail's Roar. Now, what's really cool about this is that it's an AoE, so any enemy around you will, especially if they're like a lighter enemy, they'll get blown away, like they'll get thrown out. And if you hit an enemy with this, and they still end up living after, it'll lower their damage negation stat. So you'll end up dealing more damage to that enemy. And then, of course, I have Dragon Fire. I have Rot Breath. Rot Breath is really good. And then, of course, I have Dragon Ice for any enemies that are resistant to fire or physical damage. And then, of course, I have buffs. Flame grant me strength, help me deal more damage. And then Golden Vow, help with my defense and damage. Let's do this. Do this. And drink this. Alright, now let's go in with our Rot Breath and poison him. Is he not poisoned? Oh wow, I might not even be able to poison him. I might just kill him outright. That's crazy. Alright, let's just go here real quick. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow, okay. That was really quick. I didn't even have to deal with his little goons that he summoned. I just did so much damage to him. I don't even think I ended up poisoning him because I just killed him so quick. But yeah, this is Shitsalil. This is Mr. Fister. He is level 181. This is actually, I think, my lowest level build. Here are his stats. 60 vigor, as usual. I have 28 mind, but you really don't need that much mind. I have 41 endurance. That's actually an important stat. I'll tell you why later. But it's a strength build with a little bit in dexterity. But I think that was just to reach the requirement and to get a little bit of damage out of my weapons. And then the rest is nothing. I don't have any points invested into the rest of this build. Weapons I use two weapons. I use Dane's footwork, and I use the dry leaf arts. These are hand-to-hand combat weapons. These are martial arts weapons. So here's the moveset of this weapon that I use. It's a bunch of kicks, punches. It's more kick-oriented. It's super fun. These movesets, yeah, the martial artist, yeah, the moveset of the martial arts in this game is so much fun to use. It's so fast, you can just spam them. Like, you can move in and out of a fight so fast. It's so much fun. Like, you can land 2 or 3 or 4 hits before your enemy is able to even get off 1 hit. So you can, like, get in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then roll out before they can even get an attack in, and then get more in, and then roll out, and then go. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of talismans, let's go there too. I have the Warrior Jar Shard to boost the attack power of my weapon skills, because I do be using those a lot. I use the Shattered Stone Talisman, which raises potency of kicking and stomping attacks. So every time you throw a kick, this talisman will boost that kick's damage. I have the Millicent's Prosthesis, which boosts my dexterity slightly, but also raises the attack power of successive attacks. So basically, the more attacks I land in a row, the more damage I'll deal. And then I have the Claw Talisman, because I use jumping attacks a lot with this build. This is the Flask of Wondrous Physic. This is the thing you drink before a fight. It boosts successive attack power, same thing as the Millicent's Prosthesis. And then I have the Stone Barb Crack tier. I think it lasts like 20 or 30 seconds, but in that time, you're able to break enemy stances and stagger them a lot easier. You'll notice with this build is that if you look to the right, even though I'm wearing all this armor, I'm still light loaded, which is why my endurance is so high. Also, this build just chews through stamina, so having high endurance is really useful. But also, because I'm light loaded, I also have the light roll, which makes me super fast. It costs less stamina to use, and it costs less stamina in general to do a lot of my stuff because I'm light loaded. Here are the abilities of the Dry Leaf Arts, the hand-to-hand. This is the Dry Leaf Whirlwind, a bunch of spinning kicks, and then the other one that I use, here's the ability of that. It basically like charges up a big blast. Okay. I'm like too fast right now. But yeah, basically you always want to be in your enemy's face. Just constantly berating them with attacks. Oh. Okay, well. Because you also do more damage with successive attacks as well. So you basically just always want to be in their face, never give your enemy breathing room. And yeah, he's hitting me, but I'm hitting him as well. So it's like really nice to trade with this build. Because like I said, for every one attack they have, you have like 3 or 4 attacks for yourself. Or for them. Yeah, this guy's so slow, it's crazy. You see what I mean? I never gave him any breathing room. I was just constantly whittling down his health, and then he just eventually keels over and dies. Magic Bitch. Here we are. This is Magic Bitch. She is level 250. And 60 vigor, as usual. I have 40 mind, 34 endurance. The endurance part is just to be able to medium roll with all the armor that I wear. I have 20 strength. I think that may have just been a minimum requirement for the weapon I use. I have 60 dexterity, because the weapon I use does scale in dexterity slightly. And then I have 80 intelligence, because all of the magic damage that I do scales in intelligence. And then I have 25 faith, because I just had some extra levels, so I decided to just use them towards faith, so I can be able to wield Golden Vow, which is like probably the best spell in the game in terms of buffing. But here's the equipment I use. This is probably my most complex build, I'll be honest. I use the Wing of Estelle, and the Wing of Estelle is a curved sword that deals magic damage, but it scales C in dex, so that's why I have the 60 dex. That is really just for the physical damage I do, but it scales B in intelligence, and that's for the magic damage that it does. So that's why I have 80 intelligence, and then I also use spells on top of that. So it has the basic curved sword moveset for the light attacks. Really quick, swipes, very effective, but then it also has a unique heavy attack. The heavy attack, it basically disperses a small projectile. It gives you like some range, but you do have to be careful with it. And then this is the weapon's ability. This is why I use the weapon. Each one of those individual explosions deals its own damage, so if you're able to land all of your explosions, then it deals a ton of damage. So that's the Wing of Estelle. I also use the Lusat's Glintstone Staff, and then of course I use the Finger Seal. That you don't have to upgrade that, because I use it just to cast the Golden Vow. And then this is the armor set I use. I use the Raging Wolf Helm, the Carrion Knight Armor, the Bull Goat Gauntlets, and Blide's Greaves to all give off this like silvery jewelry look. These are the talismans that I use. The Graven Mask Talisman to increase the potency of my sorceries. The Magic Scorpion Charm raises my magic damage. The Shard of Alexander to boost the ability on my weapon. And the Axe Talisman, which increases my charged attacks. So the Shard of Alexander and the Axe Talisman are basically for the Wing of Estelle, this weapon right here. These are its charged attacks, so it's boosted by that talisman. And then this is its ability. So you'll be using those two attacks a lot when you use the Wing of Estelle talismans. And then the first two talismans that I have basically are for my spells, which I'll show you right now. The Gavel of Haima. So if you're dealing with a big group of enemies, or if you want to just dish something out real quick, and you want to like stun an enemy too, because it is a heavier attack, the Gavel of Haima is a great option. And then I have Rock Sling. This is my distance damage dealing sorcery. It's really cheap, and it's really simple, and it does physical damage too. Same thing with this one. This is Blades of Stone. It's also physical damage as well, but you can charge it up. You can just use it regularly if you just want to cast it quick. But if you choose to charge it up, if you sneak up on an enemy or something, or if you have the time to do it, you can charge it up. Bang. And then it casts 3 times. And then of course I have the classic Comet Azure. Bang. This just deletes bosses. And then of course I have Carrion Phalanx. Just, you know, a nice passive thing to have. Keep enemies away from you. And it's just a nice damage dealing thing just to have. And then I have Terra Magica and Golden Vow to buff my damage and my defense. And then here is my Flask of Wondrous Physic. It boosts my magic damage. And I have the Opaline Bubble Tier for that, you know, basically a do-over thing. Alright, now, can I deal it from here? Like, what am I telling y'all, bro? This shit deletes people. Then if we just use this a couple times. Like, bro, bosses just get deleted. And you see how I got hit there? But it didn't do any damage to me? That's because of the Opaline Bubble Tier. Alright, let's see if this works. So now we're going to drink that last. We're going to cast this first. We're going to do this. Then we're going to drink this. Then we're going to cast it. Yeah! Oh, he ducked. It's bad. Oh my god. But I didn't get hit. Oh my god, I can't believe that worked out. That's so awesome. That's so funny. Damn, that strategy still works, even to this day. But yeah, that's Magic Bitch. Very fun. Probably my most complex build, but definitely a build with a ton of variety in gameplay. Super satisfying to play. All my builds, I just fucking love them. I just think they're so satisfying and fun to play. And yeah, that was my last build. That completes the build showcase. Yeah.